Hey guys, welcome back to my channel if you've been here before, and if you haven't, welcome to my channel. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas to anyone out there that celebrates it. I hope you all are doing well and staying warm if it's cold where you live, like it is where I live. Hopefully you can't hear it, but the wind today is wicked. We just had a pretty big snowstorm yesterday, and the wind is sticking around still, so I am staying inside for most of the day, like trying to stay warm. And yeah, so since I'm doing that, I thought today would be a good day to film a video with some tarot cards here. And we're going to be talking about some things in general that maybe some of us, if it resonates with you, some things that we can work on moving forward into the new year. So as always, this may not resonate with everyone. It is a general message. So take what resonates and leave what doesn't. So I've already pre-pulled 3 tarot cards here, and then I've also pulled a card from the Self-Care Wisdom card deck that I love to use. So we will talk about this card at the end of the reading. So we have to start the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups, I want to call this the Feeling All the Feels card. And what I'm getting from the Queen of Cups here is we are going to work on taking charge of our emotions going into the new year and not letting them, push us around or be the boss of us. We are the boss of our own emotions. And maybe this past year, sometimes we may have let our emotions get the better of us, and sometimes we may have even let others take control of our own emotions. So going into the new year, we can work on taking that control back and realizing that our reactions and our emotions to certain situations, all of that is in our own hands, and we are the boss when it comes to our emotions and our thoughts. But it's also about feeling all of the feels, and when I say that, I mean that it is okay. Maybe we have to remind ourselves that it is okay to not always be okay. So if we are upset, if we're sad or angry about a certain situation or at someone or whatever it may be, it is okay to feel those powerful emotions and not feel like we have to be ashamed of it or hide it from other people or even ourselves. And I know for me personally, I do have a hard time being vulnerable with people and talking about my feelings, and I feel like going into this new year, it's a good time to really look at those people that we have in our lives, the ones that we can trust with our emotions, or at least like telling them how we feel and just knowing that they're going to be there for us. So if you're like me, when it comes to talking about my emotions with others, if you find it difficult for this new year, it might be a good idea for us to try and at least chip away at that wall if we have built up a wall, and we use it to kind of keep people at a distance when it comes to our emotions. We have to try and talk ourselves or let ourselves know that it is okay to trust the people that are closest to us. Those are the people that it's okay to take that wall down for, and trust me, I know that that is easier said than done. So this is definitely something that I personally will have to work on for the new year. But yeah, that's kind of the message that I'm getting with the lovely Queen of Cups here. Okay, and then for our second card here, we have the Knight of Swords. So maybe this past year you have had ideas for things that you have wanted to accomplish. I know I have, that I have totally dismissed this past year or put in very little effort to accomplish it. One of those things for me is I have been working on a young adult novel, and I have been working on this book for years. And I remember in the beginning of 2022, I said that this was going to be the year that I finish that book and take the next step towards publishing. And I may have went back and looked at the book maybe once or twice, if I'm lucky, throughout the entire year. So I put in very little effort into accomplishing what I wanted to do, but I'm also trying not to be hard on myself, and I feel like us as a group, all of us, I'm pretty sure we can all relate and agree that this past year, these past few years have been not the easiest. It has been very difficult for many different reasons. So we can't be hard on ourselves if we lacked the drive or the motivation to do the things that we set out to do initially, and then it just kind of faded out. But with the Knight of Swords here, I see this card as a reminder that if we do want to get these things done, if we do want to accomplish these things, we have no choice but to put in the effort to do it. And that's the first thing that came to my mind when I saw this card was effort and actually taking those steps towards getting it done. So no more just ideas, no more keeping it in our heads. This year, 2023, let's make those steps. Let's put in the effort. Let's find the motivation again and be determined. And even if we don't finish what we set out to do, but at least if we put in, a little bit more work and get even that much closer to getting done what we wanted to get done, in my eyes, personally, that alone would be a great accomplishment. So yeah, the Knight of Swords is our taking action card. And then last but not least, we have the Hanged Man. So going into 2023, we may have to work on shifting our perspective a little bit. Maybe for some of us, our mindset for this past year wasn't the greatest, or maybe it just didn't really take us to the places that we were hoping to get to. And if that's the case for 2023, going into the new year with a new mindset, a new outlook on, just life in general, or our relationships, or ourselves, switching that up may be more beneficial than keeping the same perspective on things. And maybe that perspective is what kept us from not moving forward, not taking action on the things that we wanted to do. Or maybe it had something to do with how we were feeling our emotions this past year. So maybe a little shift on how we see things and how we perceive things could help us out. So when I see this card and I see, this light around this person's head here, I feel like it would be a good time to reevaluate. And I call the Hangman card the regroup with yourself card. So take a pause, sit down, think about if the path that you are currently on, if it is actually the path that you want to stay on, if it's the one that you see taking you places and benefiting you in the long run. If it is still the same and you see where you're going is where you need to go, then great. But if you need to stop and reevaluate and think maybe it's not, maybe in the long run you don't see it taking you where you need to go, then now would be a great time to take a step back and take that pause and think where you need to change things up to actually benefit you and get you going and headed in the new direction that you see would be more beneficial for you. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with having to change direction. I don't know how many times in my life that I've had to rethink things, and at one point I thought that this was going to be good for me, and then when I stopped and took that pause, I realized actually maybe it's not. Maybe I need to do this instead because this might be better for me. And then even if that turns out to not be the better choice, I found that out along the way, and then I was able to once again redirect. Like, that's just how the game goes, you know? Like, life isn't just one straight line all the way down. It's full of zigzags and turns and change-ups and stuff like that. And if it was just one straight line all the way through, it would be pretty boring. So at least with some change-ups and things, it keeps you on your toes and keeps things interesting. Okay, and then we have our self-care card here. So we have Elevate and Self-Worth here. And then on the back, you get what you believe you deserve. It's time to raise your standards. So I thought that that fit very well, especially with the Hanged Man and possibly changing up your perspective and how you see things. And maybe that's just it. Maybe, you know, raising your standards is something that you need to do going into the new year. And maybe you need to raise your standards on yourself. You need to give yourself a little bit more credit than you do, especially when it comes to taking action. You know, see yourself actually doing it and be your own cheerleader. You know, it's great to have that support team externally around you, but to have that mindset within you to be your own cheerleader, your own motivational coach, like, that's also great to have. And yeah, also use the relationships that you have as well. If you need that boost of motivation, talk to them, talk to the people that are in your lives, and they can also help you and be your cheerleader as well. So it's definitely going to take work. It's not going to be easy. It never is. You know, we always find that we have to push ourselves, sometimes a little bit, sometimes a lot. We can be our own worst critics sometimes, and I just feel like with this new year coming up, we need to take it easy on ourselves, to not be so hard on ourselves, but we also have to set like a healthy boundary with ourselves where we realize that we need to give ourselves the extra push. But if things do become too difficult, if you do need to take a pause and reevaluate, that is okay. We can't always be at 100%, and we need to be able to look at that and accept that that is okay. So yeah, there you have it. I hope that made sense. That is the general message, general outlook I have on the things that we can work on moving into the new year. Like I said, if this message resonated with you, then great. If not, that's okay too. And yeah, I am wishing you all a very happy new year. Happy, healthy, safe new year. And I am looking forward to making more videos for you guys in 2023. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I shall see you in the new year.